Data normalisation. So here you've got a data normalisation question, and these will come up most years in your exam. Okay, they will give you one of the tables, as they're giving you the car table here, and they will expect you to come up with the other two suitable tables. Okay, now they give you a clue in the question. A car hire company uses a relational database management system for organising its rentals. For simplicity, a person may only hire one car at a time. They've already given you the car table, so we need to work the other two out. So obviously someone is going to be renting this car, so we're going to have a customer table, and then they've given you the other one in the question with the rental table. Both table names need to be in capital letters to identify they are a table name, and then after each of those you will open brackets. We're following the structure of the one they've given us in the exam question. The next thing to do is to identify the primary key. Now the primary key is always going to be the name of the table plus an ID number. So for customer, it'll be customer ID. And for rental, it will be rental ID. Now, we need some way of identifying that those are the primary keys. So we need to underline them. Okay. Now, unless you put a nice little key at the bottom, they will not give you the marks for those. So you need to add a key that says what each one means. So primary keys are underlined. Next thing is you need to give two additional fields about that table. So the car, they've told you the make, the model, the year, the colour of it. You need to use your common sense here and think, what would a company want to know about a customer? So you're going to start with basics, first name, surname, telephone number, any additional fields like that. And then with the rental, you would want to know the date it was rented and the date it will be returned. The last thing to then do is add the foreign keys. And to identify which table these should go in, you need to think about which table wouldn't exist without the others. So a customer is still a customer regardless of whether or not they rent anything or whether or not there's a car. A car would still exist whether or not we rented it out, which means it's got to be the rental table. So in your rental table, you put your other two primary keys. So we're going to take the customer ID and we're going to take the car ID and we're going to put them in the rental table. And again, without identifying that those are foreign keys, they won't award the marks. So I'm going to make them metallic for now, because I obviously can't use a squiggly line. And again, add them into the key that you've put at the bottom, okay? So then, if we look at where we've got those marks, you get 1 mark for each table name in capital letters that's correct. So 1 mark for customer, 1 mark for rental. The next mark comes from having your primary key. So you get 1 mark for customer ID being the primary key and 1 mark for the rental ID being the primary key. You then get 1 mark for 2 additional fields. So because we put first name and surname, we get an additional mark. I also put an extra one in case they didn't like one of the other ones to make sure I get my mark. You've got 2 additional fields down here, so that's 1 more. And then the last mark, so the 7th mark, comes from both of the foreign keys. So you've got to have both of them in the right place for that last mark.